sky. When you lose small mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall. We drink from the river, then we turn around and put up our wall. Swimming through the void, we hear the words. We lose ourselves, but we find it all. 'Cause we are the ones that wanna play. Always wanna go, but you never wanna stay. And we are the ones that wanna choose. Always wanna play, but you never wanna lose.
Hello.
Oh my god. Jinx. Holy shit, that was loud. Yeah. Hi everyone. Okay, let me see. I do see perhaps maybe a few new
Crystal.
people.
Nice to see you, Crystal.
Hello, Crystal.
Mark Andrew Demarest. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Mark likes the song. So
Oh, that is Jesse Jets.
that is Jesse Jet. Yes, you see us. Cool. We see your comment.
Well, I mean, as much as I can, you know. I try. I'm like, what's happening? Yes. I mean, I'm just posting that we are live. Andrew, what have you been up to?
Not too much. Just, you know.
Well, I know what you were up to this weekend,
Right.
but I won't. As I know, Mom watches the show sometimes, so.
No, I went on a nice hike in the mountains, and yeah, now I'm back and ready to go for this show. What about you? What's been going on in your world?
Oh, I've been sick, but other than that, I'm getting some stuff done, so that's good. I finished a 500-piece puzzle of Salvador Dali. And I would say for someone with 15% sight, I'm kind of proud. Don't ask me how long it took, but I finished it.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. But tonight we have some things that others aren't talking about. And then also, some things that maybe people are, but they have a different kind of take on them. So, Sarah, Andrew, what do we have first?
Yeah, so I think we're just kind of making it a tradition that every show we just talk about like one sort of labor dispute or workers revolting, right, and either trying to unionize or pushing back on unfair practices. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit about Petco and what is going on over there. We're going to start with Petco. And so I'm just going to add this to the stream. And so I'm going to play this video. So yeah, I think just to kind of sum up what this is about to be, the conditions for the workers and the pets that Petco is supposed to house have been terrible to the point where animals have become very stressed, have suffered some health conditions, right? Heat strokes, right? So just, giving you all kind of a little bit of a warning because this video is it's not the most light. It is a little intense, especially if you, have any sort of affinity for dogs, right? So, all right, but here we go.
Colby died Friday during what was supposed to be a routine grooming at the Petco. Colby was accidentally left in the heated drying cage.
She said she'd brought her dog to the Middletown Petco Thursday night to get his nails groomed. She returned a bit later. Ollie was on the floor, and technicians were kneeling beside him.
Paul says he was a healthy 3.5-year-old English bulldog when they took him in for a grooming appointment at this Venice Petco in January. But something went wrong during the appointment. Max didn't make it.
We're fighting for pets over profit. We want the company to care for us and the animals in our care more than the numbers that they're trying to make us push and the numbers that they themselves are pushing.
Well, you look at it, 7 consecutive quarters of double-digit growth. We're one of only 3 retailers out of the top 50 that have done that.
For the very first time, Petco
we are
workers are
expected
unionizing.
to provide 100% satisfaction and also act like a factory line. We're supposed to get out as many dogs as we can while remaining quality. I think for the amount of jobs that one groomer does in a day, we just aren't reaching the amount of money that we should make.
Groomers are expected to be receptionists, to notice something's wrong with your dog and help you. Even the cashiers are expected to, provide care to sick animals.
We're doing a lot of work for some of the cheapest services offered in this area. Petco grooming is probably a solid $50 to $100 cheaper than a lot of private salons or mobile salons that you'll find in this area. We're not asking for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars added to our paychecks, but knowing that the work that we're doing is being compensated fairly, as opposed to being like, I need to add X number of full services to my schedule this week to be able to pay rent or pay my bills.
Workers say animal safety is also a major concern and
Training
motivator
for me
behind
when
the
I
union.
first started there is definitely different from what it is now. But when I first got there, I was training on a computer for like 3 full 8-hour shifts. So that's like a 24-hour period. What I've been noticing at the store is that they will hire new people and then just put them out the same day, like on the floor, taking care of animals on the register. I'll walk in the morning to do openings, and animals won't have food or water, or like their humidity will be very low, their temperatures will be low. Sometimes lights will be left on. I heard about a time when an employee of the store went to take care of hermit crabs, and they ended up not doing a proper job and flooding the tank, which resulted in those hermit crabs dying. And that was discovered by another employee of the store that had the required training.
Even when workers are properly trained, many point to manager negligence as a reason behind dangerous conditions in the store.
A lot of issues that we've experienced in the grooming salon have been things like our thermostat just being absolutely wild and management doing nothing about it until recently. After we filed to unionize, we would have days where the temperature in the salon would be over or at 80 degrees, and we'd just have to keep working because management would refuse to shut us down, even though it is in policy to close at 80 degrees. Dogs tend to get liable to heat stroke and heat exhaustion at about 75 degrees. So when they're sitting at that higher temperature on our table and we're working on them with hot tools and we're like in their space with no fans or water available to them, they tend to kind of get amped up and get a little bit more stressed. It's harder to guarantee their safety, which is something that we promise the pet parents when they're dropping off. And that promise of safety is what's bringing people back.
Petco had a record year in revenue and profitability in 2021, reporting an increase of $886.9 million in net revenue from the year prior.
Animal savvy people. We're passionate about our animals. We're passionate about our pets. All of us have pets, and all of us would want better than what the company is providing.
Knowing that the pet industry is so large and there's so many different Petcos, the idea of like all of the issues in our store happening across the country and all these Petcos is like really disheartening when I hear from all these different employees that it is rough across the board not having a voice and not being heard. All I want to say to other Petco workers is everything we're doing is for the animals that we take care of anyways. This is just another step in taking care of them. Anything is possible, just gotta ask the question, hey, you want to start a union?
So, yeah. There's your little talk.
Judges. Did you see that? Did you see that shit? Isn't that insane? Did you see that? Whoopty. Like, how could you do that? That is so disgusting. I remember a few years ago, there was a story that PetSmart accidentally, here, keep your ear shut, accidentally cut a dog's ear off and then super glued it, hoping that the parents would not notice. Super glued it. I'm not kidding you. You're muted.
What in the world?
Super glued it, Duchess. He super glued it.
How do you, like, they're of course gonna see that the ear is like
that it can't hear.
Yeah. and not moving, like it's gonna probably stay in one spot because it's not functioning.
Incredible. Like, something like that should never happen, but if for some reason it does, claim it, admit it, say, oh my God, we need to get this dog to a vet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Duchess, we're gonna put you back on the floor, but first do you wanna tell people what's up? Oh, good girl. Thank you. All right. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
You'll get a treat after, I promise. Now she has like a hairball. Jenna, did you see my movie?
Yeah, Jenna definitely. She said she was looking away a little bit, but it's over, Jenna. Here, we'll just put in the video is over.
Yeah. That's why I brought Whoopty on, because Jenna's a vegan and she's very, very, very pro animal, and that's one of the things I absolutely love about her. And I saw her in the comments and I knew that was going to be hard, so I brought my Whoopty. Jenna, I hope you saw my Whoopty, girl. So yeah, that's super difficult to watch, but at the same time, like, I am so proud of the associates who are bringing that to people's attention, because I know when I've taken, Duchess to the groomer, these people work like crazy. I mean, they have appointments like every half hour, and there will be 8 dogs at a time in there. Now, this is PetSmart, so I recently started going to a different place. But yeah, I mean, and what's interesting, probably about maybe a decade ago, I applied at a PetSmart because I thought, well, you know what? I'm not good with scissors and shit, but I would like to give dogs baths so I could be their bather. You just stick them in the big tub and you give them. And I mean, sometimes you're going to get bit and scratched and stuff, but I was like, I would like that. $8 an hour.
Huh.
And you have to do like 5 an hour. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, yeah, I think that girl nailed it when she said it's like an assembly line, just like crank them out. Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
And, I when thinking about that, I almost kind of disturbingly, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the UPS drivers, right? And how they were overheated in their trucks, passing out sometimes right in front of the door, and then having to get up and deliver the packages, right? And now we're talking about similar conditions with animals where they're overheating, potentially getting heat strokes, potentially dying because of the terrible conditions at Petco, right? And it'll be interesting to me to see if more people start to turn heads when it comes to Petco, because there's always this kind of thing where it's like when you see animals suffering, you're like, wait, what is going on, right? And of course, it's very sad, right? But the same type of empathy doesn't always seem to translate over to humans who are also.
I know. I was thinking that too.
And so, that's just, I don't know. It's an interesting way to see if that'll wake up more people.
Okay. To be fair, I'm just going to say this. Animals are completely harmless.
Yes.
They are, they are one of the animals and babies are the only two things in the universe who can really love you unconditionally.
Yeah.
There is no other such thing. People can say, I love you unconditionally. You're full of shit. You're human. There are conditions. So, when you see an animal, you're just like, even if they do something so-called wrong, it's in their nature. And it's not meant, in a bad way. It's just something that they do, by Mother Nature. So it is sad, when something happens to an animal, you do kind of feel that, but yeah, there is that desensitization when it comes to people. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I think another thing that I found very interesting is that they said, notice how they had some people who just work the cash register, right, having to take care of these animals because of just, I guess, understaffed or just overworking. And that is just so, how many times have we found ourselves in situations where we're told, oh, don't worry, you won't have to do this. You're not trained to do this. You're not qualified to do this. Oh, please do this. We need you to step up and do this. We're not going to give you any additional benefits for it. But we're going to be expecting you to do this. And if you don't do it well, it's going to be your fault. Right.
Yep.
And that's exactly what is happening there.
Absolutely.
And absolutely, Mardina says animals are great, but all that stopping and lifting can do a number on your back. You should be paid more than that. Absolutely. And I think that's a great point, because I think people kind of overlook what manual labor is, right? Like, like obviously working in the coal mines, that's manual labor, right? But it's not, there are other things that take a lot more manual labor that you think that take a toll on your body over time, right? We talked about, Trader Joe's, right? How they don't even have conveyor belts at their Trader Joe's places. So when they're checking people out and they're ringing the groceries, particularly if you're buying something heavy, they have to pick it up themselves off the cart, right? And so, all these things also add up, giving a toll on your body. So put that in there. And I mean,
well, and I don't want to offend anyone by saying this. I mean, I'm a woman and I'm proud and blah, blah, blah. But, it's like, I mean, I really do wish we had a big old strong dude at my work, because I work in the back room. We unload 200 boxes off of a truck every day, put them on the conveyor belt, unload them, process them. And I'm disabled and 43. I'm 5'2". The girl next to me is 4'9". Then there's a woman next to her who's 67 years old. And there's all of us old and broken chicks that are trying to unload this shit. And it's my back hurts, my legs hurt, and I'm like, I don't feel 43. I feel fucking 90. So, but people don't necessarily think, putting clothes on hangers and stuff. Well, what about taking them off the truck and cutting open the boxes and lifting the boxes and sorting the boxes and that shit? I mean, my arms have gotten considerably more muscular since I started. It's a lot of fucking work, and it is manual labor.
And because I've seen many different sitcos as a child, and it just the way the branding is, it just looks like such a gentle place. You go in, it's like, oh, there's all these different animals, right? And it's and it just shows how so many corporations, they're actors, right? And they do a great job at just having this exterior image when you have no idea what's actually going on within, right? And the fact that this is the first time that, and I feel like we're at a time period now where there's a lot of firsts, right? Starbucks, just a year ago, there were 0 unionized. Now there's like 250 unionized. Trader Joe's, right? No one had thought to unionize there. All these places are now being unionized for the first time. So I'm just hoping that really just shows that slowly but surely people are starting to kind of awaken and realize, like, this doesn't have to be this way, right? And like, you can push back and challenge this shit.
And the customers have a right to know. And this video should be shared far and wide, because that is
the customer, because so that you can actually make a decision. Oh, maybe I shouldn't take my pet there if there's going to be also undertrained employees who are going to like be forgetting or not putting things on that should be put on, and like feeding and like giving water, right? Like, yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, did I hear it correctly? It's not uncommon when they're training people to have them work 3 8-hour shifts in a row. Like,
yes, on the computer to train.
Like, I'm sorry.
How is that helping your dog? Like reading a story about how to handle a dog when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. He said 3 8-hour shifts within 24 hours. I'm just like, that's fucking inhumane. First of all, that's illegal. First of all.
Yeah, that is a clear labor violation. That's literally like what places like the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in like 1912 were protesting. Like, like, that's the thing. It's like when you're reading about like how like, before like really, in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, you're just like, and you're reading about the conditions today. It's like, the U.S. implemented these labor laws, but like, where'd they go?
Yeah. And then we have things like right to work states, which really is just right to slave wages. What do you mean right to work? Everybody has the fucking right to work.
Yeah, well,
but what it really means is right for us to treat you like garbage.
Well, they know how to market themselves. That's one thing for sure. They're really good at knowing how to frame things so that people are like, oh, right to work. Yeah, okay, cool. American dream. We have the right to work. That's
American flag.
American flag. In God we trust. We'll be talking about that a little bit later today. So Roxanne says, my feet and upper back feel that pain. 22 years of grocery retail will do that. Ooh. LOL. Yeah. Yes. And then Crystal coming in. Yep. Restaurant business killed my ankles and knees. And then, so sounds like there's definitely people here that can relate to similar type of work and how it has had an effect, and how you've probably gotten very little recognition or thanks for that type of work that now has, remained with you in some way. So
that's why I like overtip. Overtip. I give it like 30% because I'm like, I cannot fathom how hard that work is.
Right.
I can't even like it. I'm amazed by servers. Like, I'm absolutely amazed that, like, first of all, I have no coordination. I would not be able to carry anything like that. I would spill it all over. But secondly, you have to deal with people. Mm-hmm. Any people who have to deal with people should automatically get a higher wage. Period.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking. Like, seriously, working with people is a specialty. And they should give you free therapy as well.
Well, now, yeah, and which that just shows how it intersects with our healthcare system, right? And how, we could go on, and how therapy in general is extremely hard to get access to, particularly with the pandemic when fucking everyone was depressed. We have
higher suicide rates than ever in history, but oh well.
Sorry, So. Yeah. So I see people in the chats also saying paying a visit to your local Petco. Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking the
sure
same
they
damn
know,
thing.
you know, and
You know
customer.
what?
Yeah.
I wonder, I bet you Petco has like maybe even individual Facebook pages. Like maybe I could just maybe Harrisburg Petco has a page and I could put that video on it and be like, what is your response to this?
This you?
Yeah, hey, this you?
Yeah, let me see. I'm looking it up right now. Harrisburg. Let's just see. Petco. Let's see what comes up. Yep, there. Well, it's Petco. Visit your Harrisburg pet store located 4621 High Point Boulevard. You know where that is?
Yeah, it's probably about 25 minutes from me.
There you go. They're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So they just closed an hour ago.
Well, I'll be posting something fun on their Facebook.
Excellent. There's another one too. 5125 Johnstown Road. Yeah. There's a few. You got a few over there. So yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have fun. Everybody do that.
Yes, yeah. Crystal's gonna be going tomorrow. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, you rock.
Not necessarily the Harris. I don't know where Crystal's located, but to their local pet.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So
that's what we need.
Yes. All right. So what do you got next, Joy? We got.
Okay, so is this the mother?
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to talk about this a few days ago. I had already picked this, but since it's been getting more traction, thankfully, there is a Black woman from a Black Lives Matter protest who had the audacity to verbally communicate with a police officer. Nothing physical, no threat, no nothing. She had the audacity to open her mouth. As a Black Lives Matter protester, she is now, and she was pregnant, she is now serving 4 years in prison. 4 years. I mean, anyone who thinks it's not because she's Black is like tone deaf. This is fucking mind-blowing. Do you have a video?
Yep, I'm going to play it now. So again, just, this is a little bit of an emotional video, so just, do whatever you need to do.
What if I said to you, a Black pregnant activist was given multiple years in prison for simply saying something that the police did not like? You would say, no way, not possible. Yep, got the proof right here. Let's put up a picture full of mass. This is Brittany Martin. Miss Brittany Martin, earlier this year, who is a South Carolina mom and activist, was sentenced to 4 years in prison over comments she made to police during a 2020 Black Lives Matter protest. Martin currently served almost 4 months in prison since May. Meanwhile, she's due to give birth in November. So let's give you the background. Advocates and Martin's legal team are currently fighting for her to be released, or at least receive a lesser sentence, citing the total prison on her pregnancy and the fact that she should not have been in prison in the first place. And I concur with the facts and their conclusions. She's in jail because she talked in America. That's what Sybil Rosada, Martin's trial attorney, told the AP. She's a dark-skinned Black woman who is unapologetically Black and radical. You know who else they called radical? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They called him a communist, liberal, radical. Is this starting to sound familiar? There's more. As of July, Ms. Martin has reportedly lost 12 pounds while incarcerated. Remember, she's pregnant. She's been taken to the hospital 8 times due to complications with her pregnancy, twice transported via ambulance. Martin told the AP her body just can't get comfortable with the baby while in prison. where she's also faced regular threats to her physical safety and wellness. You know, when conservatives tell you they give a damn about the unborn, they're lying. This is a woman who's pregnant. They trumped up charges. They used a loophole in the criminal justice system in order to severely sentence her to these years. Now I'm going to give you the background to that. Miscarriage of justice 100%. Martin told the outlet she's been harassed by prison guards and physically attacked by other incarcerated people. Rosada, the attorney, said she saw Martin with scratches on the face and a bloody eye during a recent visit. Martin's also repeatedly been put in solitary confinement and sent to detention over alleged disobedience to prison guards, and once for not cutting her dreadlocks, which Rosada, the attorney, points out stems from a racially biased grooming policy. So let's talk about the case. See, the case raises significant concern about how it was executed. Okay, so her case raises serious concerns about the free speech rights in America. Martin, whose brother-in-law was killed by police officers who shot him 19 times over a carjacking in 2016, was filmed at the protest, which was sparked by the police killings of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd in Sumter, South Carolina, May 2020. The police officers Martin addressed in the video were in full body riot gear, armed, and on the brink of unleashing tear gas on the crowd. Yet they determined that it was Martin who posed the real threat. She did not. She said things that they didn't like, and they decided to arrest her. Now watch how the criminal justice system victimized her again. In contrast, the jury actually acquitted Ms. Martin. Let me say that again. A jury acquitted Ms. Martin of a charge of inciting a riot and only found her guilty of breaching the peace. Also with this, breaching the peace is only punishable by no more than $500 as a fine and up to 30 days in jail. That's your maximum. The jury also never reached a verdict on whether Martin threatened the officers' lives. Yet because prosecutors said Martin had breached the peace in a, and I quote, high and aggravated manner, and the high and aggravated manner crimes carry up to 10 years in prison, Martin was sentenced to 4 years because of the way the prosecutor charged the case. The attorney told the AP that the judge did not permit her to explain to the jury how high and aggravated charges affect sentencing. So what do you have here? You have a jury that says, you know what? She didn't do the rioting thing. She didn't incite a riot. No, we don't agree that she threatened the police. Did she disturb the peace? Yeah, we'll give you that one. Disturb the peace. Okay, according to the jury, they assumed $500 fine maximum of 30 days in jail. They were not told that because of the high and aggravated statute that applied due to the overzealous prosecutors, that she could in fact get up to 10 years. That part was left out of the jury instruction. Why? Because they knew good and damn well the jury would have never convicted her of a violation of breaching the peace if they knew this woman could go to jail, prison for 10 years of her life. Now,
so I guess the first thing I think of is how the fuck are you breaching the peace in the middle of a protest? Isn't a protest not peaceful to begin with? So how are you breaching the peace? Because when you show up in your fucking fatigue, like you are going to war, to me, that's breaching the peace when all these people are doing is standing there with signs and chanting because they want some semblance of justice. That, oh my God. It's so disgusting. I hope I want to be realistic, but I hope that this outrage that the judge is getting right now helps her. Because right now, this judge is getting it bad and good. Keep going. Keep fucking calling them out, because this is disgusting. 4 years? Oh my God. How much did the cop get that fucking killed her brother? Oh, none. That's right. Shot 19 times by a cop. They walked with nothing. But how dare she say something to a cop because she's upset about it? And now she gets fucking 4 years as a pregnant woman. And then you're telling her to cut her dreads? That is so fucking racist.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it was just hearing about like her experience in jail, particularly as a pregnant woman. It really reminded me a lot because, you know, I recently read Asada Shakur's autobiography. And a lot of that is about, you know, her being convicted and kind of her experience in jail. It talks a lot about her life, right? But she really highlights in detail a lot of the shit that she had to go with in jail. And at one point for a while in prison, she was pregnant, right? And so it really just like, you know, just shows how, you know, that was in the 70s, right? And this is 2022. And, you know, I don't think many people here need to be convinced in terms of how terrible our criminal justice system is, but it really just puts into perspective how much it's the same shit, just different decade in terms of how Black and brown people are treated by the criminal justice system, and how when they're in prison, just how awful the conditions are for just, you know, literally in her case, just going to a protest to protest police terrorism, right?
Which she was then subjected to.
Yeah.
There's a documentary show. It's called 60 Days In. And my sister got me hooked on it. It's a documentary where people, just like average people, go into the prison system for 60 days to see how it works and say this works good, this works bad. And nobody knows except the police officer in charge who puts them in there. You see violence, you see sexual assault, you see, I mean, it is the scariest fucking thing. But the thing you see the most is the officers turning, walking away, saying absolutely nothing. So the fact that she's saying she gets, you know, physically assaulted and stuff, and I believe that in a fucking heartbeat. Because another tool that they use is sticking them in solitary confinement, which she said they've also done to her. They try to drive you mad, literally. That's what they try to do. Because then if they get you, you know, psychologically, then they look like they've done nothing wrong and you're just so-called crazy. It's so scary. And so this woman deserves to be out. She deserves to have her baby and to live a good, healthy life, a just life. So, God, I hope, please, if you know, I have these articles and stuff all over my Twitter. Please contact the judge. Many of us are contacting them. The more heat they feel, hopefully the more they'll say, this isn't okay. But I think one of the things that's happening is they're trying to use this as a precedent. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be, you really want to speak out to cops? What about this? You like this example? Because that's what's going to happen to you. And I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucky Burrito, how's it going, Lucky Burrito? Nice to see you. Lucky Burrito asks you a question saying, what platform do you see it on, Joy?
see the video or?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Lucky Breed, if you want to clarify. Oh, 60 Days documentary. That was.
I believe it's A&E, but I saw it on Netflix.
Okay.
It's very, trigger warning. It's intense. But the thing that I do like about it is that it's very organic with the people in there sharing their stories about how they came to be in there. And you realize they're victims of, abusive homes and poverty. And it really, it makes you think. There's not these like monsters. Oh my God, lock them up. It's like, they're victims of their circumstance. And it's just, philosophically, you could really analyze those shows. They're very interesting. But yeah, trigger warning, they do get pretty intense.
Yeah. No, I imagine. So this kind of gleans perfectly into this kind of transitioning over to the Queen protester, right? Someone protesting the Queen, right? So Low-Key says a woman has been arrested for holding a sign saying abolish the monarchy in Edinburgh. How democratic. So, yeah.
Bananas. And then they block out the word fuck.
Oh, they do. That's what that was.
Like it's literally blurred out. So you're reporting on it, but like, oh my God. Well, yeah, you know what? Fuck the monarchy. Fuck imperialism. Fuck you get a high place because of your lineage. That's fucking archaic. That is psycho. That, and people are like, well, I think it's amazing because it keeps, queens and kings. No offense, Duchess, but I think that's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like, seriously, like, how about you, like, get democratically elected? Maybe, perhaps, I don't know.
Maybe.
Or, kind of like you're saying that, guess what? My cells, and my DNA make me the next prince, but I'm a murderer. And like, fucking look at douchebag, fucking Epstein, rapist, but he's part of the royal family. But that's okay because it's in his DNA. He earned it by having that lineage. So that's all right. That's the only thing. There are two things that the Queen did right besides die. No, that was bad. That was mean.
Hey, I'm going to be showing some Irish Twitter in a little bit later. So, that's kind of tamed compared to some of the things they've been doing. So,
so the two things she did was, A, she reneged all of King Charles or Prince Andrew's accolades when it came out and that he was accused of rape with Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
She actually took back all of his medals and stuff. That's whoa. Like, that's a big fucking deal. Right. So the fact that she did that, I was like, yes. So that was one good thing. And the other good thing was having a bunch of corgis. Other than that, she did nothing good. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's
yes.
that thing?
Fudge Imperialism by Emoji, which is great because that just reminds me of the Christmas story. Oh man, that was like that. I remember seeing that movie when I was like little, and I knew I knew that word fuck. I'd already learned it, but that was like the first time I like heard it actually like in a movie being mentioned, and I was just like, oh, did he just say fuck?
My dad sounds like the dad when he gets pissed off. He's like, flippity gibbet, son of a gun, and all you hear is like clanking and shit. And you've heard me when I really, really laugh, like giggle laugh. And people tell me I sound like the little brother all the time. We have like the same laugh, apparently. But I digress. Yes. Yeah, so that is heartbreaking and scary. And I hope that the judge actually listens to, people sticking up for that woman. But yeah, as far as the queen, I've been seeing really interesting articles. Like apparently she was worth 500 million, so $500 million. So but she did a lot with charity. Oh wait, no, she didn't. She died with 500 million. Could it have helped people? Not as much as it helped her coffin, because she's taking it with her, apparently. Wow.
Yeah.
What's it saying?
So this is just like from Newsweek, and this topic talks about, because I think one of the things that I've been noticing a lot is that, there's been so many different people, residents of different countries, whether it's Ireland, India, right, who are really kind of uniting amongst their disdain for, well, essentially colonialism, right, and the Queen. And so this Newsweek article really kind of breaks down and says why some people from Ireland, India are celebrating the Queen's death. And so, yeah, it says people in countries formerly controlled by Britain, such as India, Ireland, Australia, Nigeria, were quick to point out the monarchy's role in the subjugation of their countries. Queen Elizabeth II died on Thursday at Balmoral Castle in Scotland.
On Bernie's birthday, bitch. What the
I know.
fuck?
That's such a sexist move of him to have a birthday right when like the Queen dies. Like,
seriously,
this woman can't even die in peace.
Let him have his day, bitch.
Like, oh, yeah. Thanks, Bernie.
I'm still going to celebrate his birthday for 2 reasons now.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's
so the British Empire at the height of its power was described as the empire in which the sun never set and commanded 23% of the world's population in 1913. That's easy to forget. Like, I mean, they had like practically a quarter of the world just like under their thumb. And so, following the announcement of Elizabeth's death, I'm going to show a couple of sort of things in a second. Some people flocked to social media to celebrate. One even went as far as to edit a video of the Irish dancers performing at the front of Buckingham Palace with Queen's hit song "Another One Bites the Dust" at the soundtrack.
Queen's the only the band Queen's the only royalty I care about dying.
Others brought up the many millions who died under British imperialism, right? I have deep regards for Queen Elizabeth as a person, mother, and granddaughter, but she's also a head of a monarchy that benefited from systemic exploitation of Ireland and India for centuries. Therefore, deep disdain for her as a monarch, wrote one person on Twitter. Another wrote, "The Queen has died. Let's take the opportunity to remember all those millions of people who died as a result of British imperialism in Africa, India, and Ireland during slavery, and in so many countries in the world who didn't have such a long and privileged life." Oh, random Trump sponsored ad.
Yeah, why not make it about him? Obviously,
because I'm saying, reading an article that's critical of the Queen for, being complicit and sometimes actively allowing colonialism to continue in its many shapes and forms, I must be a Trump supporter.
No, but it's supposed to be. But look at the other guys. That's
right.
Why
look at them. You want Trump? Yeah. Okay. No, I don't want Trump, but don't want them either. A third wrote, "Where's the Avengers Endgame edit with Ireland, India, Jamaica, Nigeria, Ghana teaming up to celebrate the death of the Queen?" Right. And so, yeah. And so that's kind of, I think, and so I want to just kind of show, This is on one of the ones on Irish Twitter. I'm sure many of you have probably seen this, but this is
Vicious came back from the dead, and he's like, "No, I really don't want her to be saved. Like, I'm glad she's dead."
So this is at a game in Ireland, and this is them. This is in Dublin, when them cheering her death. So, yeah.
You didn't, but you got to play it on the screen.
Oh, oops. I had to do the extra click. All right.
I was at this stadium in Ireland.
And nothing happened. There was no one that said anything. Here it is.
Yeah, they just said, let's go to the pub. Have a beer.
So yeah, imagine being in a stadium, just people just break out in such a large chant.
Dublin's one of my favorite places.
It's a good place.
Love Dublin.
It's a very, very good place.
Dublin was wonderful because when we get there and we sit at the tables, they have what you think is a bunch of water sitting at the tables, and when you go to take a sip, you realize it is whiskey, and it knocks you on your ass.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a Irish coffee at 10 in the morning, and it knocked me on my arse. But it was tons of fun. Love Dublin.
So Mardina says different countries should get their stuff back from the British Museum while all the officials are distracted.
Ooh, I like the way you think.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. It reminds me of, actually, I saw someone post on Twitter where it's like literally everybody's reaction right now to the British Museum, and they have a picture of Michael B. Jordan in the Black Panther movie, just like staring at the stuff and being like, "Oh yeah, where'd you get this from?" Like, where's so yeah, no, definitely. All right, so our next story is going to be Hunter Biden.
Oh, right. You know what? Before we go, let me just say this. When I die, please don't make me into some like martyr. Please don't say, "Oh my God, when she walked into a room, she lit it up and stuff." Because I listen to true crime podcasts 24/7, and every time some girl dies, when they walked into a room, they lit it up and they had a smile and eyes, and I'm like, well, I never met anyone like that. So, but apparently there's millions of them. So. Just like people, every time people die, they're like, "Oh my God, they were so." No, when I die, be like, "Yeah, she was a bitch. She failed a lot, but she tried." That's all you gotta say. And then have a party that lasted as long as I did.
Oh man. All right, so we'll add this to the stream. So this is so Joy. This is the trailer of Hunter Biden.
Okay, so yeah, my son Hunter has been trending like every day for like at least 2 weeks, and I never knew what it was. I figured it was about Hunter Biden, so I just didn't really give a fuck because I've always been like, who cares? It, family, if they're not political, really isn't. He's an adult. It really isn't connected to Biden per se because he's, but then it came out that it did, with documentation that he is, in business with Biden and all this shit. So I finally clicked on it to watch this. And this is the trailer, and it is the funniest fucking shit. I guess some people are going to think it's real, but there are so many like undertones of humorous things in this. see if you can catch them, because I just about peed my pants.
So I'll tell you what's going down.
You know who I am.
They told me you were VIP. All connected to the government.
What kind of a moron forgets to pick up his laptop at a repair shop? You're a Biden. Act like one. Everything he built, his life, I just ruined it all. I want to know everything that's on that laptop that can ruin my erection. My friends, it's time to party!
Didn't you know? I'm taking control. I make an appearance and I gotta go. Cause I get them dancing with their hands up. Yeah, I walk in and they go bananas. I'm a bad guy.
I'm an artist.
Tell me how I can help you.
I don't deserve help. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've been through worse.
The smartest man I know. Gangstad. I just wish I could smack some sense into you. I'll never forget Corey Bob. He was a bad dude. No joke. Dad, we were talking about suffering.
I can't seem to find anything but positive stuff on the Bidens.
Who's the point man for the foreign policy in the Obama regime? Joe Biden. So it looks like you need $1 billion.
So the obvious next question is,
Where's Hunter? I can remember getting paid some money, but I can't remember what for. Well, my dad says we never discuss my businesses, period. Or my cut.
what's happening in there? Joe's in on it.
Cody's over!
You had everything, Hunter, and you threw it all away. You hope the laptop will take down everybody with you.
Get out! China's not our enemy. They're not bad folks. I love my dad, and I just want to make him proud. I am the one who brings in all the deals. I am the one. Good boy.
Oh my God, I can't. If I didn't have to pay for that shit, I'd watch it. You know, I think, okay, the corn pop was a bad dude. And is there anything on this computer that would hurt my erection? And then Joe Biden coming up behind Hunter and like sniffing his ear. Like, I'm sorry, that shit's so funny. But do you think that Republicans are going to take it like for real? Like, because I think some of them will.
Like actually think it's like all of it's
like factual.
Like factual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some people, you know, they'll think it like is based off of like a true story, right? I mean, I'll give it to them. Conservatives usually suck at satire, right?
I know. That's why I was like, this is actually funny.
It's actually kind of good. Like, you know, I mean, of course they do the whole like, oh, you know, he loves China type of thing, you know, where it's like, okay, you know, like, but you know, some of the other things, it's kind of funny.
I had to show people because I was like, finally, I'm gonna click on this shit, and then I saw it and I was like, okay, this shit's fucking funny.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Trump has been parodied 1,000,000 times. But Biden, so I think it was hilarious. I don't know. You know, of course, you know, the Dems are freaking out, but
Of course.
And that's why it's so funny because, like, you know, I didn't share this on my Twitter or anything because I know Republicans would be like, yeah, you're awesome for sharing it. And I'm like,
right,
you know, because they always like
kind of that.
when you dislike Pelosi or Biden, Republicans are like, yeah, you're awesome, and they hit follow, and you're like, no, I don't like you either.
I'm like, just see a few, just see my next tweets, and then you'll know for sure. You know, like,
yeah, I don't like any of you. Actually, I hate you all equally. Yeah.
Oh man. So, yeah. No, good. So Lucky Burrito actually saw it. I guess it's free. Oh, I guess you can find it on Rumble. So that makes sense.
Oh, you know, I might have to watch it. I might have to. I need some fucking.
How long is it? How long is that movie? I don't know. Is it like an hour
Probably
and a half?
like 45 minutes.
45 minutes? All right. Well, so that's like...
There's
That's
40
like-
years of material. I mean...
Yeah, I did hear that. I saw that. How did Pelosi block you? That is wild.
That's illegal.
So is it, I was thinking, like, so I know it's illegal to block, like, your constituent, right? Is it illegal to block somebody that's not in your district?
Well, here's the thing. She's Speaker of the House. We are all her constituents.
Yeah.
If she was only House in California,
In that district, then...
so technically, yes, that is illegal.
That is illegal.
So I called out Twitter and I was like, technically her account should be suspended because you can't do that. Jenna Whoopty in here, she was blocked for years by John Fetterman, and we are constituents of him.
Right. That
We
is,
are
like,
in Pennsylvania.
very clear cut. Like,
For
yeah.
years, and just got it overturned like last month, I think. Which is
Did you have to, like, actually, like, write to Twitter and protest? Like, how were they able to undo that?
How did they finally do it, Whoopty?
Yeah, curious to hear about that.
Because I mean, Jenna's been saying this shit for years. Like, I'm blocked and I'm a constituent.
Right. No, I mean, I remember Jenna, telling me on Twitter too, and I mean, I knew that it definitely happened, but I'm more interested to hear, like, oh, how did that unhappen, right? Like, someone, I'm guessing, had to have, like, been like to Fetterman, like, yo, you have to do this. This is illegal, so yeah.
You mean Fetter woman?
Oh God, yeah.
As if I need more reasons not to vote for that twat waffle.
Man, it's just, this is, I think, is just like, this could be a segment all on its own at some point, but how both parties just blatantly ignore the fact that certain people just are, like, clearly not fit for office, mental. And it sounds like Fetterman, he had a stroke, and that's awful, right? But then also seeing things where he's, because I've seen some videos where it's like, you are not completing sentences, and, like, you're about to do a serious job where your job is going to be looking over legislation, allegedly, right? A lot of them don't really do that. They have their aides do that, and they have their, people's, corporations and PACs that sponsor it, right? They really do all the work. But, like, allegedly, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, it's a lot. And so, I don't know. It's like the fact
Well,
that...
I mean, the thing is, as someone who's met him several times and personally interviewed him, I'm not saying this just because I don't like him. I'm saying he's not very bright. Mm-hmm. He's not at all. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to win, because there's a lot of, I mean, look at W, one of the fucking dumbest ass people in the world.
Well, and also, I mean, it's a joke of a race. I mean, it is really, it's gotten to at this point.
If you guys didn't see my show on Fetterman last week, you have to see it, because as a Pennsylvania resident, it's really fucking nauseating to see people swooning all over him, even though literally Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are pushing for him and campaigning for him, and leftists are like, yeah, Fetterman, oh my God, he's progressive. And it's like, can you talk to people who live in Pennsylvania who actually know what this fucker has done to our environment? How we have the second highest number of pipelines and frackings in the entire United States.
Right.
And how, I mean, I cannot tell you guys how awful he is. And I hear the same but Trump. I hear it with but Oz. So the thing is, vote for him. I don't fucking care. But don't make him out to be something he's not. He's not a socialist. He's not a progressive. if you think he is, why the fuck would Hillary and Biden be campaigning for him? If that doesn't tell you enough, and Pelosi now. So, I mean, like, people want a new hero. They want, look, we're our own fucking heroes. Stop looking to politicians, electoral politics. Fuck that shit. I'm voting green because PK Diddy, and I know Jenna, you're voting green because one of our friends is running, and that's who I'm voting green because I'm sure as fuck not voting for Oz, and I'm sure as fuck not voting for Fetterman.
Yeah, that's right. That's good that you actually have people in the Green Party running in Pennsylvania.
We don't always. We really don't. We don't always. Because in Pennsylvania, they have taken the Greens off our ballot numerous times.
Right. I looked it up. Massachusetts, I think, only has one person running for like a state Senate seat. That's it. So that's interesting, like liberal Massachusetts, we got one, but Pennsylvania, that's good. At least you have a few for this election race cycle. So
yeah. We have one more topic, don't we?
Yeah. So this is just like, I'm gonna zoom in on this a little bit. This is just a very fascinating, it's kind of entertaining, kind of sad, kind of frustrating. It's Texas and they're, extreme, ultra religious sort of laws that they are trying to, portray. So, interestingly enough, last year, 2 Texas lawmakers behind a measure requiring public schools to display donated "In God We Trust" signs attempted this week to clarify criteria for the signs after alternate versions submitted in language other than English or printed using colors that celebrate the LGBTQ community were sent to schools. So basically, this law states that if anybody donates an "In God We Trust" sign to public schools, they have, in Texas, they have to hang it up. So the whole idea was, okay, well, let's, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So there were a bunch of people who were like, let's just start sending, LGBTQ themed "In God We Trust" signs, right? So this is based on Senate Bill 797. And once they started doing that, they were like, oh, wait, but it's only one that we have to put up, right? And like, if it's anything outside of like the traditional "In God We Trust"
red, white, and
American
blue,
flag,
and not patriotic.
then we don't have to accept it, right? So, they say, so, because it was originally in Bill 797, it's saying here, so long as the signs have been donated to school district and or the signs are purchased with private donations, the poster or frame copy must contain a representation of the U.S. flag centered on the national motto and a representation of the state flag, and it may not depict any words, images, or other information. And it's so funny. The senator who co-authored the law sent a letter on August 26th to Mike Morath, commissioner of the Texas Education Agency, basically clarifying that his 2-page bill was not intended to force school districts to display more than one poster per building or require them to post them in any language other than English. That to me is just hilarious, where it's like, it's literally like, it doesn't matter. It's how you word it. It's what said is said on the bill. So it's hilarious that it's like, but wait, that's not what I meant. And it's like, it's too late. That's whatever was said. It was said, and that's how they'll interpret it, right? So,
oh my God.
I don't know.
Banana.
It's funny and sad at the same time. And this is like this quote. Yeah, Brian Hughes. He says, read the bill. Sign must contain "In God We Trust," U.S. flag, Texas flag, and may not depict any other words or images. Printing what you like, but only these signs qualify under the law. Which, like, seriously, like, just bringing religion into public schools, bringing Christianity into public schools, and then it's just, this is what
like,
politicians
God,
are.
dude, there's over 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So
My God is Allah. Now what, bitch?
So yeah, that's what's happening in Texas. That's what people are debating about. But yeah, I figured we'd
It kind
close.
of reminds me of. I mean, I digress a bit, but it's so funny. It reminds me of when the gay guy bought the house right next door to the Westboro Baptist Church and painted it rainbow stripes. It was fucking amazing. And it was those houses that have like, I don't know, maybe like 4 feet in between each other or something. So we painted the whole thing red, white, or red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, just stripes all around the house. And then he had like rainbow lantern lights around the fence and like everything rainbow, and it was so fucking awesome. And then I think they turned it into an LGBTQ plus like hangout, which, and the Westboro Baptist Church has two options: stay there and put up with it, or raise enough money to move. So they're still there.
I never hear too much about the Westboro Baptist Church anymore.
Oh, they show up every time I go protest anywhere.
Really?
They were protesting our fucking March for Medicare for All. You didn't see that?
The Westboro Baptist Church was?
Yes, they protest. Please, they protest every time I'm at a protest. They were there. You didn't see them?
They must have.
No, it was while we were setting up. That's why, because you were.
Oh, and I was marching.
Oh,
what was
yeah,
it, like
they
5
had
people?
Do what?
What was it, like 5 people?
Maybe 10, 12.
And they were specifically for March for Medicare for All. They were specifically.
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean it does not matter what it is for. It doesn't matter.
It's all about just like, gay people going to hell and like.
Yeah, like it was all like unborn fetuses and stuff. And like even when I did Occupy DNC at the convention, they were there protesting with like unborn babies and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, it's just because they think we're all Democrats, we're baby killers, and that's why,
Right.
That's where the correlation comes in.
Yeah.
We're actually trying to save babies' lives. That's what we're doing. So this is my comrade, Rabbi Michael. And Rabbi Michael is in Harrisburg. He is part of a group that is called March on Harrisburg. And they are amazing. Shout out to Rabbi Michael and Kyle Moore and all my comrades there. They marched from Philadelphia to Harrisburg to get money out of politics in Pennsylvania. They've all been arrested more times than I can count. They go and sit on senators' floors and protest. They are such badasses. They're just phenomenal, wonderful, beautiful people. And this happened, I'm not sure if it was today or yesterday in Harrisburg, but Rabbi Michael decided to go into a banquet dinner of a bunch of lobbyists in Harrisburg at our Capitol. And this is the reception he got.
In Pennsylvania, it is currently legal to bribe legislators. Lobbyists can gift our legislators anything. And we wonder why nothing changes. And we wonder why 1 in 8 kids in this state is in deep poverty. Why don't you shut the fuck up?
No, they need to leave.
Can we understand that?
We need to leave now.
We need to surpass the gift bag.
That has nothing to do with this event.
It absolutely does.
So Rabbi Michael says 1 out of 7 children are living in poverty. And this guy says, why don't you shut the fuck up? That's who represents my state.
Sorry to
So-
interrupt your little spread, but
Yeah.
you're fucking up the whole country.
And like, he's a fucking rabbi. Like, seriously, like, oh my God. Like, really? Michael's like the sweetest person in the world. And he's like, I expected people to be like, well, it's not the time and the place and blah, blah, blah. He's like, why don't you just shut the fuck up? Like, Pennsylvania is one of the most gerrymandered places. They get gifts, monetary or otherwise, more than any other state. Our state is so corrupt with money when it comes to politics. I cannot even explain to you guys. I'm gonna have to do a special on it. It is absolutely insane. And they went in and they wanted to tell them themselves, like, and that's how it went.
Yeah.
Not we're not doing that here, not well, it's not like that, you know what I mean? No, it's just, why don't you shut the fuck up?
I mean, it really doesn't take much to make these people uncomfortable, right? And I think, it makes sense. They're in such insulated areas and bubbles that, like, in the off chance when you get to them, they don't know what to do and they lash out because they get a little taste of what, we all think and know, right? So I think that's just what about the takeaways there, where it's like, in order to get under their skin, it really doesn't take that much. And so,
nope.
Tell
them the truth.
But we're all too busy just kind of fighting amongst each other and and just over petty type of shit that it's like, I don't it's like, are we gonna get there soon? Like, if more people can fucking do that shit, because like, imagine if we actually like channeled our like angry energy amongst each other on the left and actually like brought it more to these people who actually deserved it, like that.
Right.
You might actually start seeing some like more changes happening in some ways.
I was just doing a spaces with Ron Placone earlier today where we discussed the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're right now we are and for all, we are doing an action. We've been working with human rights lawyers for over a year. We are filing an official complaint with the United Nations for leaving 40 million people uninsured and millions more underinsured in a pandemic and in a time when over 1 million people died. So we've been working on this for over a year. And we're taking submissions in video, people who want to share their healthcare story, why we need national improved Medicare for all. We have like a complaint.
Yeah.
And we will be presenting it to them either October or November. Geneva accepts complaints all year round. However, in New York, they only do 1 month out of a year. And we're not sure if it will be October or November. They haven't announced it yet. But when it is, we will be traveling from all over the country to go to New York to have a rally there while we turn it in. And we have amazing people. We have hundreds of doctors who have signed on. We have Poor People's Campaign has signed on. It's really incredible. And when we talk about this, we get, well, what's the point? What is that going to do? Well, I guess that's going to just give everyone health care. And it's like, how about you tell me something else that's a better idea, which nobody ever does. Or you just eat a bag of dicks and shut the fuck up. I guess I would never have, I don't know, like, I just can't see going onto a disabled person's, Twitter and being like, fuck you for voting for healthcare, you dumb bitch, like, which I've been called many times, and it's just like, it's so bizarre to me. It's bananas. But you're right. That's what happens. Like those of us who are fighting for every single person, we get that. Well, what's the point? Well, I'm sure that'll change lives. Well, you know what? Give me a better idea. Do what else? Give me something. Nobody ever gives us shit. People are like, not like that. Well, how then? You know? So, and that's something the Republicans have that we don't. The Republicans say, this is what we stand for. This is what we don't stand for. They don't gatekeep. They don't, question, well, what party are you? And who do you like? And who did you vote for? And who do you support? And how are you on this issue? Republicans are like, dude, do you hate this? Let's go. And they don't have that infighting. And that's why a lot of the stuff they do is more cohesive and more successful, because they don't nitpick at each other. When they want to do something, they fucking do it. And that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What's that saying?
Lazy Quackhole says you're looking for stories on healthcare experiences. Yeah.
Yes, correct. If you go to M4 all, which is like M the number 4 M number 4 ALL.org, there will be something to click on where you can just give a video, like, your healthcare story, like this is what happened to me or my family or things like that. And then we can submit it with our complaint to the United Nations. We are looking for 100 videos, so 100 stories. And in the complaint, we will have an index where it gives each person's, name, city, and what the topic is of the video, etc., so that it is all documented. And then we are putting all of those together with our official paperwork from our human rights lawyers, and they will be submitted together. So yeah, I mean, anyone who wants to share a story, the more we have, the better, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, yeah. So thank you all for tuning in. If you want to file, you can find me on Twitter at Radical Pragmatic.
File a grievance against Andrew on Twitter.
Sure, if you want to. Sometimes I deserve it. And and you can also find me People's Voice Network, where we do different shows and different panels, and sometimes even just exclusive content in the field. That's what I've been able to do lately. And yeah, Joy, what do you have coming up?
I am just trying to see if I could type this in. Did that work? Can't tell if that worked. Does it say it correctly?
What? M4all.com? Yeah.
Yeah, is that the right one? Did I type it right?
Yeah, I mean, real prog. Yeah. M4.
Okay.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
No, it's .org.
Oh, it's .org. Oh, okay.
Here, type that for me, please.
All right.
Blind girl issues. Yeah, anyone who wants to send a video, that would be amazing. You would literally be part of history. Like, people don't do this, and these human rights lawyers have been doing this for over 40 years. They have worked with people in other countries to do things like this, mainly indigenous peoples and people of color. This is a huge thing to do and be part of. So definitely, if you have a story or know someone who does, I see you're going to send one to a friend. I appreciate that so much. So yes, we are taking submissions through the first week of October. And I also have this gentleman from the UK. His name is Oliver Dodd. Oliver Dodd. D-O-D-D. Dodd. And I found him on Twitter because he writes articles about imperialism from a UK perspective. And I've had him booked for 3 weeks, and check out the fucking timing of this shit. Like, I got a UK dude coming on Friday when the Queen fucking died. That's good timing. You're muted, Andrew.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for watching, everyone.
Yes, thank you
and
so
have
much.
goals
And we will be back next Monday with another episode of Postmortem Breakdown, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, as always. And please smash the like button, share. Please subscribe to my channel as well, Savage Joy Marine Man, and Andrew's as well, because we're just here to join our comrades one day a week. And I do have a Patreon as well if you'd like to sign up. So thank you all so much for watching. Again, you guys are freaking great, and I can't wait to read these comments because they look juicy.
All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Much love.